My first wish is...
Hey, what's up? Thanks for clicking. The new patch notes are here, and they have finally given us a look at the brand new pet system set to roll out in just a couple of weeks for the start of Season 49. In this patch review, I'll break down everything we know so far about the new pet system, and also share some extra info straight from Boombit that I'm sure we've all been curious about. After all that, I'll dive into the rest of these patch notes, showcasing all the changes you might want to know about. As you probably noticed when you first logged into the game after the patch, you were greeted with an announcement for the arrival of pets along with these nifty 50 gems. Now, if you take a look at what's been added in game for pets, you'll see a brand new pet tab under the gear menu. Clicking on the tab opens up the brand new pet interface where you can view all of your soon-to-be collected pets sorted by their species. From this new interface, you can check how much of the new pet currency you have accumulated, you can select skins for your pets, review pet bios, change and select your active pet, and also explore the brand new pet talent trees. Pets are a companion to your hunter that will join you in your activities in-game and follow you around. They are neutral creatures that cannot be damaged by enemies, nor will they attack them in return. Sorry all you Gauntlet Legends fans, pets are not familiars and they will not help you obliterate hordes of enemies. They are simply there to judge you when you die and take all the credit when you win. Pets in Hunt Royale can be leveled up to a maximum level of 10 using a new experience system powered by pet points, a new currency introduced specifically for pets. Initially, pet points will only be available through Season 49's Season and Dungeon tracks, but eventually they'll become obtainable from chest drops as more pets are released. To max out a single pet, you're looking at needing somewhere in the ballpark of around 5,000 to 7,000 pet points. For comparison, leveling a hunter from level 1 all the way to Awakened, aka level 11, currently requires exactly 2,586 hunter tokens. Since pets require about double that to max out, we can use the hunter leveling system as a reference to estimate the XP per level needed to level up your pets. While these numbers won't be exact, they do give us a good idea of what we can expect. This change also aligns with Boombit's shift in content cadence, moving away from monthly hunter releases to monthly pet releases instead. It becomes rather likely it will take at least the same amount of time to max a pet as it did a hunter, if not a little bit longer. I say longer because this would be a pretty good time to change how long players interact with the season, as the player base has become pretty efficient at maxing out new hunter releases in just a couple of weeks, if not even shorter. It's not outside the realm of plausibility that Boombit would like pets to take longer to fully level, providing a more drawn-out progression experience. While we wait for pet points to become more widely available in chest drops, it's safe to assume rewards from sources like season tracks and possibly even the dungeon track will be similar in quantity to hunter tokens. This will give players familiar with hunter progression a solid starting point when planning their pet upgrades. When your pet levels up, you'll earn one talent point that can be assigned to the pet's animal family talent tree. To recap, there are 6 different family archetypes being introduced. You have dragons, canines, felines, rodents, insects, and birds. Each family will have its own unique talent tree, allowing for specialization based on the pet's archetype. Now, taking a look at our first pet release, the Serpent Dragon, we can see in the Dragon family talent tree there are 2 initial options to spend talent points in. The first talent is called Dragon's Greed, and it increases all gold gained by half of 1% per talent point, up to a maximum of 5%. The second talent is called Fire Mastery, and it will boost all fire damage by 1% per talent point, capping at 10%. 2 very different options, one helping with account utility and the other with in-game damage. As we can see, there are 2 additional talents in the dragon family tree that have yet to be revealed. While there's no official information on what these talents might offer, it is reasonable to assume that dragons will continue to focus on themes of gold bonuses and fire damage. I know that players have been asking for an increase to fire stacking capabilities to help them get over the 1001% burning stack requirement. For those of you who might not know, in the current endgame, a max level red power stone level 7 provides a 250% burn damage bonus when slotted into an offensive armor slot. With 4 of these stones equipped, you'll reach exactly 1000% burn damage, which is frustratingly just 1% short of enabling fire damage to stack on a target instead of detonating and being removed. As a result, players are forced to sacrifice another precious weapon or ring gem slot for an additional 250% redstone just to cross that threshold. To me, it seems like this talent might be a perfect place for devs to inject some bonuses to fire stacking to bypass having to modify how red stones work. As for the gold perk, maybe you can now get a small kickback of gold when selling an item instead of just the dungeon tokens you get. I mean, regardless, the only thing I know for sure and have confirmation on is that these 2 new talent points will be released in 6 months from now, when the next dragon family pet is released, offering players more ways to allocate their newly gained talent points. Since each pet can be leveled up to a maximum level of 10, that obviously means with each pet release you'll gain 10 more talent points to allocate within that pet's family tree. However, as you currently can invest up to 20 points in the dragon tree, it raises an important question. Are talent allocations permanent? Well, obviously the good news is no, they're not permanent. You will have the flexibility to adjust your talents whenever you want, although it will require a small gem fee to make changes. While the specific pet you level up determines which family tree you can allocate points into, the perks themselves from that talent tree are not tied back to that class of pet. In fact, you technically don't need any pet active, and you will still have all talents in all trees active on your account. Which, in certain cases, let's just be honest for a second, if you're rolling around playing Centipede, you can't exactly have a small delicious looking puppy by your side.
Eat me! Eat me!
To that end, there won't be any additional perks tied to having a specific pet active. This means that when multiple dragon pets become available in the future, choosing one over the other will purely come down to aesthetic preference, similar to selecting your favorite skin for your hunters. Once your pet reaches level 10, no additional pet points can be awarded to your account. When a new season begins and another pet is unlocked, pet points will once again become available through tracks and boxes. This system is designed to prevent players from stockpiling large amounts of points and instantly maxing out a newly released pet at the start of a season. As of now, for the start of Season 49, it's unclear if there will be a cap on the total amount of pet points an account can hold. For those considering keeping a pet at level 9 and continue to earn pet points indefinitely, it's worth noting that a cap would likely be implemented quickly to address such strategies, if not. A few final notes on pets. It seems like it's still a bit too early to reveal exactly how other pet families will function. However, considering that dragons provide bonuses to gold and fire damage, it's reasonable to assume that other pet families will have their own specialized perks as well. For example, felines might focus on dodge and bleed damage, insects could offer damage reduction and poison damage, and rodents might provide bonuses to dungeon tokens and disease damage. While these are just some wild guesses, it will definitely be fun to see how the family bonuses are rolled out in the coming months. As for any bonus interactions with pets, Boombit is playing that one close to the chest. There could be features they would like to keep a surprise up until release for players to enjoy and discover, or maybe they are still working on features yet to come. In the patch notes it says, take good care of your pets and be rewarded with invaluable buffs. Is that just flavor text, or does that mean something? Do you need to feed your pet, play with it, increase its happiness level, take it for walks, emote with it, do daily quests with it, pet it, basically just turn your phone into a current day Tamagotchi?
I don't know, man. That sounds like a lot of work.
Point is, Boombit has a 2-year plan for pet releases, and it would be crazy not to suspect new features for pets of any kind not to come out along the way. We'll know more about all this in a couple weeks, but hopefully this has given you plenty to talk with your clanmates about. When Boombit releases more information and features for pets in the future, be sure to swim back around here. I'll do my best to get you some info just as soon as I can. And that is it for the pet info. For the rest of this video, I'm just going to dive into these patch notes and try to showcase some changes. If you've already poured over all these and you're good to go, then right on. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. The first one up's the new community event. The first community event came out with the Dark Forest system, alongside the brand new Titan gear system, the end game armor set system. Basically what happened is all the players who play Hunt Royale, if they crafted one of the new Titan pieces, or maybe they just created any mythic using one of the Titan pieces, it would give you points. And those points would be accumulated across the entire player base. And as the player base got to these, these little thresholds here, 25,000, 100,000, etc., you would get a brand new permanent bonus modifier to mythics dropping across the board, whether it's in loot boxes or rewards for clearing dungeons, all that stuff. It was just a permanent bonus that the entire community received. It was a fantastic community event in that the rewards are permanent and they weren't just like a temporary, oh, hey, you get bonus drop chance for about a month or so. No, this is permanent. This is in the game to stay. So this next community event is going to be basically the same thing, but instead it's just for regular boxes. So all the stuff you typically get, gold, 100 cards, and 100 perks, all will have permanent increases, which is absolutely fantastic for new players and get to end game as fast as possible. So that's really cool. Really like that. Added a new title for players who enjoy awakening all kinds of hunters. This can be found in game under General. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom, and here it is. Awaken 92 hunters. I'm obviously missing Mimic still, so it is what it is. But if you get that and awaken him, you'd get the Caffeinated Collector title. You can now sort hunters in the hunter selection pop-ups. Whenever you go to a new level and you have, your randomized hunters and whatnot, you can now actually sort them there, just as you would be able to on your actual hunter screen where you can see all your hunters. Now you can actually sort them so you can quickly find things, which is, that's pretty cool. The main thing I want to talk about here, however, is mega boxes are now an option in the daily event rewards. Now I'm sure plenty of people don't even know that this was an issue, but if you come over on Discord into the discussions, there's actually 3 different discussions happening right now where players have been begging devs to add mega boxes back to this window page. Basically what happened is when you come over to your daily events, when you would run this stuff and you would win, you'd get a window panel that pops up and it gives you different chests as rewards, and you get to select which one you want. You want a Champion's Quest chest? Do you want an Undead Grounds chest? Do you want a Dark Forest chest? For endgame players, those were all great rewards. There was a problem when they introduced this interface with this pop-up window. What they actually ended up doing for new players, mid-game players, and endgame players, these chests were different depending on how far along your account was. And I believe, if I remember correctly, it was a combination of, I think it was Hunters Unlocked, but definitely trophy count as well. And if you were a newish player and you didn't know any better, and you passed one of those lines, the game would automatically change the chests that pop up on this menu for you, and there was no way of going back. The problem is, for new players, Mega Chest was one of the options there. Mega Chests were hands down the best way to unlock hunters, to unlock hunter perks, to get gold, all that stuff. So honestly, for a new player or a mid-game player, those were absolutely the best boxes. So what would happen is, a mid-game player, that option was removed, and instead it was replaced with things like a Dark Forest chest. Now, that's all well and good, but if you don't have all of your hunters even unlocked, and if that's the case, you definitely don't have all of your perks unlocked, and if that's the case, you probably don't have enough gold to level all that stuff up anyways. It just made it incredibly hard, almost impossible, for mid-game players to get out of that slump, and the alternatives were extremely costly. What they ended up doing is, when you come into your daily challenges, you've got the trader. If you visit the trader, this is the same time that they added these guys at the bottom here. So what they did is they removed the mega box from that pop-up and they added it in here for 200 stars. And that was kind of like a solution. Like, oh, hey, like mega boxes are still here. You can still get these, no problem. The problem really was, if you did the math, you can see right here, if you consume 10 tickets and you perfect this, in order to get, going back there, 200 stars, 10 tickets wouldn't even get you one box. So if you remember a daily event, you will be able to open a box per ticket that you spent. So think about that. New players and mid-game players were spending 1 ticket to get 1 mega box, as opposed to what, they were stuck with. They'd have to spend more than 10 tickets just to get 1 mega box. It was pretty rough, pretty bad, and they've been stuck like that since, man, I think it was like October or something like that. Yeah, they've been really complaining about this for a long time, and they got Papa Kicks on us, and hey, man, more power to Papa Kicks. He really went to bat for these guys and was trying to figure it out for them, and it looks like he finally did it. So, yeah, this change, really huge. Didn't affect me, but I'm really excited that this got fixed because, man, it was just truly unfair for those guys. So glad this is in here. It's not in the patch notes, but it's on this little pop-up, and I did confirm it is in the game, so good to go. Players can now level up inside of Bounty Hunter, and matches now last 3 minutes instead of 2 minutes. This is actually pretty crazy, and queues have been insta-popping all day. A lot of people are checking it out. It's pretty fun. Yeah, no, you still can't use gear or equipment or anything like that in game, but yeah, you actually get experience from killing other players, and you can level up and pick new perks and become ridiculously overpowered, absolutely one-shotting people. Death Strike is working in there. You can absolutely one-tap people. It's I don't know. It is literally the Wild West in there. It's a good time if you don't take it too seriously. Yeah, check it out. Mini bosses now give XP when killed. This is actually a nice little change. When you go into Abyssal Dark Forest, or just Dark Forest in general, when you go and like round up all the minions and you just kill them all and you're just kind of sitting there waiting for the next respawn timer to kick in, yeah, you can actually just go kill a mini boss and it gives you a pretty nice little chunk. It's like, about a third to half XP per level, at least early levels. Yeah, just gives you something. I mean, you're probably gonna want to kill the mini bosses anyways, just for buffs and stuff like that. So why not get XP out of them? It's pretty nice. There's a couple perks in here. Ashes to Ashes, High Voltage, Bigger Boulder. For some reason it was just having a hard time placing some of these perks. So Ashes to Ashes is Lavamander, High Voltage is Zeus, and then Bigger Boulder is Beetle. So we just got some fixes on some of the issues that they were having. This one, enabled Multishot for Centipede. Multishot doubles the cap on segments and amount of segments gained per kill. I mentioned this at the end of my Hunter Spotlight for Centipede. This was actually supposed to be in the game for release, but I guess they just couldn't get it in time. So now it's finally here. Awesome. If you didn't know, Multishot will now double the cap of your segments. So if you have picked enough perks, and let's just say you're, let's just keep it simple. If your maximum segment cap is 50, now it'll be 100. If you have 100 segments, now it'll be 200 segments. In some of my testing, I think I was able to get up to like 150, a little more than that. It's kind of rare to do, but that's pretty crazy. Like 300 segments on Centipede, and that's only with rank 1 of Multishot. If you were able to get rank 3 of Multishot with your gear, a level 2 and a level 1 for a rank 3 Multishot, that would be triple the cap. If you had 100 segments, now that would instantly turn into 300 segments. And then also to compensate that, because you need so many more kills to get segments, Multishot will also double the amount of segments you get per kill. So this coupled with his awakening, I think Centipede's going to be much better for people. And also, as far as I know, reading through the Discord and stuff like that, there are going to be some quality of life changes coming for him, I believe, if not some buffs. But we'll see how it goes. I think Multishot is really going to help him be like a crazy stacker. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. So Grim Reaper, it's a little weird what happened here. Fixed an issue where Grim Reaper was not offered Death Touch if awakened. Somebody was talking about that back in December, I think it was. Talking about how they just never got the perk Death Touch to show up. They went into Try Mode and they tested it out. They awakened themselves in Try Mode, and then suddenly Death Touch appeared. And yeah, sure enough, Death Touch just wasn't being offered if you weren't awakened. So great, that's fixed. Also, they decided to, I believe they buffed this. I'm not exactly sure what the values were before, but it's kind of weird how they explain this. But basically what has happened is, I'll just show you on a chart here. Just did some I did some quick testing on it. Basically what they've done is they've made it so that the perk Death Touch, if you are not awakened, can only show up in your perk pool 5 times. After the 5th time, it'll just disappear and you can't select it anymore. If you're awakened, however, Death Touch can show up to 7 times, and after that 7th time, it'll just disappear. You can't pick it anymore. So basically what I did here with these charts is I went in and I got all the perks for being awakened and not awakened. Hit level 20 and just did a quick little test, getting 1 Death Touch kill at a time. And yeah, every time I got 1 kill, my damage would go up by exactly 30, all the way across the board. So basically what they've done is they've changed the way Death Touch will scale your damage. If you're not awakened, it'll only show up 5 times and scale you up to 30. If you are awakened, the perk can show up to 7 times and it'll increase your damage by about 50. The perks themselves still say that Death Touch increases your damage by 4, plus the one I believe you have just passively for being Grim Reaper. So I'm not sure if they're going to change the ability and how it reads or whatnot, but anyways, under the hood, this is kind of how it works. 5 perks only if you're not awakened, 7 perks if you are awakened, bonus 30 damage, bonus 50 damage respectively. So that's all that means. Update to Centipede's biography. I don't think anything was changed. I know in the last patch they updated Centipede's biography. They just fixed a little typo. From what I can tell, nothing got changed. I don't know if this is just meant to be for the last patch or not, but I couldn't see any difference. I also changed the language and checked his biography under every language setting, and yeah, those are still blank as well, so not sure what this is referring to. Fix to the healing pattern of Forgotten Lands heal pads. Unfortunately, in Battlegrounds, there are 2 game modes. One's Toxic Waste, which is basically just Undead Grounds, like the old version of Undead Grounds, and then Forgotten Lands. Unfortunately, they have a couple-day cycle, and right now it's on Toxic Waste, so we can't even get in to see what Forgotten Lands has changed, or how the healing pads have changed in Forgotten Lands. So, but yeah, apparently they've been changed. That's good. Fixed the Undead Grounds dot notification for boosters. That's super nice. That was annoying me for a while. Basically, the Champions Quest would have like a little red dot right here indicating that the boosters were ready to be purchased, and it wouldn't do the same thing for Undead Grounds. So they've added that in there, so now both have it. So that is a nice little quality of life. Sniper has been added to the list of possible hunters for Abyssal Dark Forest. As of this patch coming out, Sniper is actually still not in Abyssal Dark Forest, but Papa Kick said he was going to get that updated remotely, hopefully as soon as possible. So we'll have that to look forward to. Adding missing resistances to the Abyssal Maze modifiers, such as earth and burn resistances. I played through Abyssal Maze just to check them out, and I didn't see any. I didn't see any of these. I think burn resistance was kind of always there, so I don't know what that's about. And earth wasn't showing up anywhere that I saw, so not sure what that's about. But hey, I guess it's in there, so fantastic. And that about does it for the patch notes. Rest of everything else is just minor changes, nothing too game changing. Pretty cool stuff. Got some big changes in there, which is going to be pretty nice. A lot of quality of life. But yeah, in about 2 weeks, we're going to be seeing this little guy and see how pet systems work. Pretty good stuff. Yeah, thanks for making this far. I appreciate you. I'll catch you in the next one.